take us through yesterday, where you were, how you were formed, that this was coming down, and then your emotions and once you realize it's happening?
First of all, hi guys. About 11:45, I left my house. Was headed into the practice gym in Cleveland. It was off day before we traveled, so I was gonna go in and get some work in. And about 12 o'clock, I got a text from my agent, Leon Rose, that said, "Call me 911." I haven't got a lot of call me 911s on trade deadline in my career, so I knew it was something. When he told me, well, at first it was the possibility of it. He told me about the conversation from Cleveland side. Who asked me that question, so I can. Oh, okay. He told me about that conversation and that it was something that was being talked about. And obviously I had to agree to it, and I definitely agreed to it. And then it went from there. And from there it just was kind of waiting to see how everything worked out and played it. And so I decided to go and finish my day until I found out. And it was just me and LeBron at the practice gym. And we had lunch planned. So I said, well, since it finally happened and I'm going to Miami, let's go have this last bad lunch because I got to be body fed tomorrow. So let me go let me go enjoy this food, and kind of had a send off lunch. And then I got on the plane and came here.
Dwyane, first, welcome back, my man.
Thank you.
Take us through your thought process to last night when you landed. Besides the Gabby dance, it was obvious that she was happy. Just when you got off the plane, what was going through your mind? Like, okay, I'm staying put.
I don't know. It's kind of just everything is still now. Everything is still working itself through my mind and body. But definitely landing and seeing familiar faces was kind of more of, okay, this is a little bit more real. So I think every step of the way here is becoming a little bit more real. Walking in this morning to the trainers, and then to see my teammates come in. So it's all it's happening. It's happening fast. But I'm definitely, I was definitely shocked. I was at the same time I was over the moon excited. So I definitely had a lot of different emotions, but it's all working itself through my body right now.
Dwyane, does it seem surreal though that you're sitting here talking to us in Miami?
Yeah, it seemed a little bit. I wasn't planning on coming here to late March. So this definitely, the one thing I always say about the NBA is, you never know what's going to happen. And especially when you leave a place, I always talk to players about, never leave a place and throw shade on anyone or anything, because you're not there. You leave with grace, and you never know what can happen. I've been here in the Miami uniform, and I've seen a lot of my former teammates come back. A lot of former guys that played in Miami uniform come back. So it's definitely something that I've seen, and I knew that was possible from players in the past. And definitely something that I envisioned for myself one day, just to know it would come right now. But I feel like the time is perfect.
Dwyane, back here, what was it like a couple weeks ago, if you could, just when you ran into Pat Riley and the thaw of things, for lack of a better word? What was that like?
We haven't seen each other in a while. It was an emotional time for me. So it definitely was good to be embraced by Pat for the moment that I was dealing with, and that Udonis was dealing with, and even our Miami Heat family was dealing with. We lost a loved one. And it was just that hug, that embrace. And I think that's all I needed. We both needed that. We haven't seen each other in a while, and you guys seen us. We've hugged a lot of times over the years. So it was just good, and that was it.
Dwyane, is there anything you learned about this organization in the time you were away? Just maybe appreciated the way they do things more? Is there anything you learned from that experience?
Well, I've always appreciated it. You don't win 3 championships and have the career I had here and not appreciate what this organization has been to me in my life and to other players who's been successful. So you get out and you see other organizations and see how they do things, and it's different. Whatever different is, it's just different. And today was my first day here, and I felt as comfortable today as I felt since I left, being in other organizations. So, I'm definitely excited to be back, and the jersey and the colors fit. So.
Dwyane, what do you anticipate tonight being like?
I definitely feel like it's going to be a great environment. I'm excited, for, a lot of different reasons, but definitely the fan base, that I grew up with, that grew up with me, just to be back in the environment. I'm excited for my teammates as well. I mean, when you go through a long season, this team is on a 5-game winning streak, and when you go through a long season, sometimes it's a long low, and, kind of get a jolt of energy. Like tonight would be in the arena, the atmosphere would be great, and I think it's going to be great for everybody, as we go down the stretch of this season. So I'm just excited to put on that jersey again and get out there and try not to be too bad.
Dwyane, you said you had one last goodbye lunch with LeBron. He was actually quoted today as saying that he felt like your heart and your mind were always here. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. It was. Definitely. I think especially when I walked in there, I went there, felt it was a great chance to be a part of, hopefully something special when I decided to sign there, and obviously to play with him again, and et cetera. But I think he's saying that, I watch closely with Miami. All the time. If I was watching something, he's like, "What you doing?" Checking Miami score, and different things like that. But I definitely think, going back to the question I was just asked, is, you appreciate, things a little bit more when you're away from it. Probably him as well, and me too. Just appreciate, the times and moments we had. And you don't like to be in other places and other environments always saying, "Hey, you remember when we was in Miami?" Yeah. But we definitely had those conversations with each other about, some of the things we did and how it was done, and why it was done, in a sense. So, but yeah, definitely was happy to be back, and my eyes and the heart was always here. I said that from the beginning. That wasn't going to go anywhere. Just had a different zip code and a different jersey on my body, but who I am in the core and deep down inside is always here.
Dwyane, so much is said about will he start, will he come off the bench. Spo said tonight you're coming off the bench, but when the dust settles, what is your preference, and where do you feel you can help these guys the most?
I just want to win, man. I don't. At this point, I want to come here and be a part of these guys. It's a lot of, as I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Just to see from afar, to see the development of Josh Richardson. To see Gorman be an all-star at this level, to know what Whiteside is capable of, that 2020 nights, to be a part of all that, and et cetera, and there's more guys down the line that I can go through. I just want to be a part of that and bring what I can to this team. So, I'm not a coach. It's not my job to coach and say where I should be. Coach will figure out where I fit in and how I fit in, and I just try to be the best in the role that is presented to me, either where it goes.
Dwyane.
Hello, sir.
Greetings. There was the social platforms can be a interesting space, but the overwhelming response for your return has been extremely positive. Did you have any anxiety about how that would go, and then how did you enjoy the way you responded to?
Not really, Jax. I know how the world works. It's not, everybody's not going to always be. Everyone doesn't love Dwyane Wade. So I don't really concern myself with that. The ones that matters that need to matter. In my life to feel okay with a decision or a choice. As long as they cool with it, I'm good. So I definitely feel that at least 51% of people are happy anyway. So you got 51% ownership of something, you good.
Dwyane, you mentioned a bolt coming in here.
Jolt.
A jolt.
Yeah.
This team at the end of games has been kind of real tight. Do you see yourself as a closer still? It seems like when Dion went down, he was that closer. He had that closer mentality. Did you start thinking about? I mean, you said you were watching the Heat the whole time, so are you thinking, these guys are in some tight games. I could maybe, provide that.
First of all, Dwyane definitely, last year, Dwyane definitely did an amazing job of not only making the shots, but taking them. Being a guy who wanted the ball. And that's not saying guys in the locker room, can't do that. But he's a guy who wanted it, and he's been bred that way. But, just playing against them, I told you, Donis, the other day, after we lucked up and got a win the other night against, a few nights ago against the Heat, I told you, Donis, the other day, I said, I don't know, man. I said, you guys are good. I said, but you guys are missing something. I'm not saying I'm that something. But, I definitely felt that, and maybe it's a Dwyane type of player or something. But, I just, want to come in and just be who I am. I'm not afraid of any moment. If it's fourth quarter time, I know what to do, and that's play the game of basketball. That's all you do. You go out there and you play your game, you use your teammates, and you go from there. So if I'm in that position on this team, I try to deliver as I have before, and if I don't, sorry.
Welcome back, Dwyane.
Thank you.
Just your teammates, Udonis yesterday said he thinks he can share this city with you again. Just the reaction when you first walked in there from them. What did they say? Who was maybe the most excited? I thought Hassan might have been the most excited guy.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He definitely put the pressure on me to throw him a lob, because if I don't throw him a lob early, at some point, I'm in trouble. I've seen his Instagram post. I definitely think UD, is something that he talked to me about, last year in Chicago when he came to my house when we was playing Miami. He talked to me about it. He's continued to talk to me about it, and it's something that, we obviously both had conversations with way before I left, that, we wanted to end our career playing together, et cetera. I think the toughest guy on the team is the happiest that I'm here. But all my teammates coming in, it was great to see them all. I feel like I told Coach yesterday when I talked to him, I feel like I know these guys. I feel like I'm a part of this team already. When we played them, just the love that everyone always showed me, before, at the games, and so forth. Coming back to Miami in the summer, seeing these guys around, spending time with them, and so forth. So that transition right there was pretty seamless with me coming in today.
Dwyane, now that you're back here, home, back in Miami, how do you wrap up the journey over the past year and a half, going back home to Chicago, going to Cleveland, just to get back to this point?
It's all a part of it, man. When I came into the NBA in 2003, I didn't know how my career was going to be. I didn't know what kind of journey I was going to be on. I just worked hard and let everything else, take care of itself. And, it's just all a part of the journey. It was something that, happened, and it's something that now is in the past. And I'm very appreciative of being back. But I've always been appreciative of everything from the standpoint of being here and the success we've had here, et cetera. So it's just all a part of the story, man. And one day we look back, and they will always talk about my Heat years when I retire. They might not mention the other ones, and that's okay. But it's just all a part of it for me. It's a product of being 36. It's like a combination, right? So I had to get glasses, and so I decided to pick some nice frames. So all my glasses are now have prescription in them. But I've been fighting it for a while. But I decided to go ahead and try to make sure that, one thing it does, it help me with my headaches and stuff like that too, that I'm not always squinting. And, I got some blue blocker type of vibe going on too to help with the light as well. So it's like a combination of it all. I appreciate you noticing though. All right. So you guys, good to see you guys.
Still gonna wear number 3?
Is it is number 3 available? Can I? There you go. I had one already. It's overrated.